Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to tell you what happens in your body when you eat 3 eggs a day. Many people have started eating more eggs on a daily basis because of the price of meat, chicken, fish, and there are people who really enjoy eating eggs. It's very convenient. You don't need to defrost it, you don't need to season it in advance, and people want to know what happens when we start eating more eggs per day, 3 eggs a day. I'm going to tell you the benefits for your body and whether or not you need to be careful. Stay with me until the end because you won't want to miss it. If you love tips on nutrition, health, and fitness, you're going to love this channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates. I post new videos every day and you're going to love them. So let's start talking more about this question of eating 3 eggs a day. Tell me down below how many eggs you eat per day. I would love to see your comment. If you like eggs, go ahead and leave your like because I'd love to know, and I'll come back and make more videos with interesting facts about eggs for you. When we look at an egg, it's natural for us to think that it's an extremely nutritious, extremely healthy food because after all, that egg, if everything went right in nature, would turn into a chick. So indeed, it contains many nutrients, lots of proteins, and many antioxidants to make it possible for that single cell, which is just one cell, to eventually become an animal. So in fact, it's a product, a very nutritious natural food with many benefits for our health. When we think specifically about the idea of eating 3 eggs a day, we're usually talking about 18 grams of protein, which is a very significant amount, almost like eating 3.5 ounces, 100 grams of chicken breast. And it's a very high quality protein. For a long time, albumin, which is the protein found in egg whites, was considered the gold standard in our diet because it contains all the essential amino acids. So this is good for your immunity. It's good for the weight loss process because protein provides a lot of satiety. It's good for gaining muscle mass and even for preventing sagging during weight loss. Eggs, in fact, are one of the foods that provide the most satiety, which is why they are closely linked to weight loss. Many studies have already shown that people who eat eggs for breakfast are able to keep hunger at bay until lunchtime without snacking, without eating cookies, cereal bars, crackers, coffee with sugar. So this greatly contributes to weight loss and above all to a sense of well-being because nothing is worse than trying to eat healthier or follow a diet and ending up hungry, irritable with your stomach growling. So eggs are a food very much associated with satiety. I gave the example of breakfast, but of course if you want, you can eat them at lunch or as an afternoon snack. But that's because studies are usually done at breakfast, since that's a time when people typically eat something lighter or very high in carbohydrates and end up feeling very hungry afterward. So, if you're looking to lose weight, adding 3 eggs to your diet can be a great option for you. Eggs are also very rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. Eggs contain choline, which is excellent for brain function, not just for adults who of course increasingly need good brain function and good memory due to competitiveness. It also plays a role in good mood, well-being, and is very important for children and for babies who are in their developmental stage. That's why usually when babies start eating solid foods, one of the foods that is always recommended is boiled egg. Because starting at 6 months, or from the moment your pediatrician or nutritionist recommends it for the child, it is a very nutritious food for the brain. So it's a great food, super affordable, and very interesting. In addition, eggs are rich in iron, B-complex vitamins, and selenium, which is a powerful antioxidant. An antioxidant that regenerates glutathione peroxidase, which is another very powerful antioxidant in our body. So, in such an affordable food, we get so many vitamins, minerals, and good ingredients for the brain, immunity, and memory. Daily egg consumption is also linked to improved eye health, better bone density, in other words, stronger bones, and eating eggs every day also helps prevent anemia. As I mentioned, eggs are rich in iron, and it's heme iron, the type bound to hemoglobin because it's an animal-based food, so it's very nutritious. Nowadays, there are several types of eggs available to buy and consume, and sometimes people get a bit confused about this. Of course, if you can buy eggs enriched with omega-3, that will be even better for you. Because these eggs are usually produced by hens that have been fed some type of omega-3 rich food or feed rich in omega-3, and as a result, the egg itself has a very healthy fat profile, rich in omega-3. But there is a downside, which is that these eggs are usually a bit more expensive and not easy to find everywhere. Some people say that the ideal is actually to eat eggs from free-range chickens that stay out in the pasture on the grass and eat their natural food, not just feed. Of course, that's the best case scenario, but either way, if you can't manage it, if it's too expensive for you, know that eggs are still a very nutritious and rich food, and every egg will have the benefits I mentioned to you. Some people still think that eggs with orange kind of brown shells are richer and more nutritious than eggs with white shells. That has nothing to do with it. It's just related to the chicken's genetics, really just pigmentation. One egg isn't stronger than the other. Both eggs, regardless of their different colors, there are actually many egg colors. I don't know if you knew that. There are even yellow, orange, bluish eggs. So regardless of the shell color, eggs are always very nutritious. I mentioned 3 eggs per day in this video because there was a study conducted at the University of Connecticut in the US, which found that consuming 3 eggs daily is associated with an increase in HDL, which is the good cholesterol, and a decrease in LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. In other words, it's a protective factor for your heart. Many people still think that eggs are bad for the heart, that eggs raise cholesterol. I have an entire video talking more about this, about issues that people with genetically high cholesterol need to pay attention to. If that's your case, you can watch the video because it gives much more interesting details for you. But as a rule, eggs are a very healthy food for the vast majority of people, unless you have a specific contraindication from your doctor or nutritionist. In that case, always remember to follow their advice because this video here is for informational purposes only. It's worth mentioning that all these studies are done with eggs, let's say, in their natural state. That is, an egg that was boiled, just placed in boiling water with nothing added, or one that was cooked in the microwave itself. You can crack the egg, put it in a glass container, make a small hole in the yolk so it does not burst, and microwave it for 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on your microwave's power. It will turn out almost like a fried egg, but without any fat. Or you can make scrambled eggs without any fat, just using water. Or you can make a poached egg, where you crack the egg into boiling water with a little vinegar. I'm mentioning this because some people take an egg and add a lot of fat, a lot of butter, a lot of soybean oil, refined oil, and you end up taking such a healthy food and making it worse with the amount of fat you add. And you end up increasing its fat content even more. So always remember to prioritize the methods I mentioned without adding fat to your eggs. And of course, if you want to add vegetables, mushrooms, peas, or anything else to enrich your eggs, that's always welcome. Just be careful not to eat raw eggs. That's because it can increase your risk of getting salmonellosis, an infection caused by salmonella, which can be present in some eggs, and this can be dangerous for your health. And secondly, the protein in raw eggs is less bioavailable, will cause you more gas, and will slow down your digestion. It's not good for you. Always cook your eggs before eating them. Remember, I even have a playlist here on the channel with egg recipes, where the egg is the star. These aren't like cake recipes. These are dishes where the egg really shines and stands out. I'll leave the link down below in the description for you. Tell me how you usually make your eggs, what seasonings you use, how many you eat. I always love adding a bit of salt, black pepper, and chopped chives. It turns out really good. Tell me what your favorite way to make eggs is. I'd love to see your comment. Remember to like the video, it really helps me out, and share it with anyone who might enjoy it or needs it. Let's spread this chain of good together. That's what I want here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.